Hello everyone, it's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? Welcome to another episode of Chatterbox. Hope everyone's doing good, hope everyone's doing fine. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon, guys, wherever you are in the world, guys. Before I start, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Please don't forget to smash a like on the video if you guys could do that for me. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, guys. Let's get straight into it, of course. Now, look, you know what? It's been a little bit refreshing this last week that we've had a little bit of positivity going around Man United, that we're actually linked to some players, because there was a moment during the window where, well, longer than a moment, to be honest with you, where it was completely silent. Nothing was going on. What the hell is going on in the window? And it was starting to get very frustrating. We were starting to get annoyed, disillusioned, whatever it was. But you know what I would say is that things are looking a little bit brighter. I know we can't get giddy and we can't get overly zealous, but you know things are looking a little bit more enthusiastic in regards to the rumours that are going around Manchester United, not least in the striker and the goalkeeper department. Huge rumours going around about selling Lemens, and obviously Benjamin Sesko is going on at the moment, which, you know what, is promising. You know, I mean, I know that Sesko isn't everyone's cup of tea. He isn't. And, you know, but what I would say is that, you know, he's an upgrade on what we have. And we have to remember that. There is a fee of around 69 million apparently floating around. I don't know how accurate that is. That's a little bit steep for me. I think Man United could possibly do a deal for about 60 with incentives and stuff. It'd be a little bit like the Mbumu deal, if you know what I mean. But, you know, we need a striker, we need a goalkeeper. And these two players, in regards to Senny Lamens and Benjamin Sesko, look the most potent in regards to the transfer rumours going around at the moment. And as I've always believed, there's no smoke without fire. And you have a feeling that there is wheels, there is legs on these transfer rumours. And look, I'm not saying that 100% we're going to sign Senny Lamens, 100% we're going to sign Benjamin Sesko. But the noises that are coming in from various journalists now is looking a lot very, very positive. So if we manage to sign a goalkeeper and a striker, that would be absolutely fantastic. And we can start moving on to other positions on the pitch. Because let's be honest, guys, we've got a lot of work to do in this transfer market. We can't just rest on our laurels. Like, you know what, even now, we're thinking about it now. Look, Boomer's going to be announced as a Manchester United player imminently in regards to the football club doing the official announcement, the photos, the PR, all that malarkey. Of course, he's going to be announced as a Manchester United official player very, very soon, guys. So that's fantastic news. We will see Mbumo in a red shirt next season. That's fantastic news. But what we need it to move on. We need to move forward. We need this to carry on, this momentum to carry on, and don't slow down. We need everything to go on. So if we sign Benjamin Sesko, we sign Senny Lamens, two players right there will fix our team enormously. But that doesn't mean that we don't need a midfielder. And speaking of midfielders, look, I want to say this, guys. Look, I cannot believe for 1 minute that Ruben will go into next season without one of his former players. I mean, obviously, there's been links with Quenda. There's been links with Ignacio. There's been links with Gyökeres, of course, guys. Diomande have been linked to Manchester United as well. But one player that Man United have been linked to as well, but also it's gone a little bit quiet in regards to this player over recent months, is Morten Højlund. The Danish international with 19 caps for Denmark, 1 goal, is a defensive midfielder, has been linked to Manchester United before, is a very interesting one. Because, you know what, I'm looking at this and I'm seeing certain people talking about the Højlund coming to Man United. Man United would love a player like Morten Højlund, of course. He is a defensive midfielder. It's the type of player that we need, a player who's fit, with legs, of course, 26 years old, at the right age as well, guys. A very, very interesting one. So there's a few people mentioning this. He does play central midfield and defensive midfield. So he's got that little bit of versatility about him. But it's the kind of player that Manchester United need. Now, does this kind of transfer have legs? Does it? I mean, not in regards to Højlund having legs, but I mean the transfer rumours. Does the rumours have legs? Look, you know, at the end of the day, as I said here, I wouldn't be surprised if Ruben Amorim brings a former player to Manchester United, because at the moment we got nobody. A football player from Sporting Lisbon, of course. We got nobody at the moment. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get one. My prediction, of course, was Ignacio or someone of that ilk. So let's wait and see, and let's see what happens with this. Man United need a midfielder. Højlund is a bit of the forgotten man at the moment. There is a little bit of an issue. Of course, there is. There always is in regards to transfers. 50 million euros his valuation is in the market. It's a little bit steep, if you ask me, in regards to Højlund playing in Portugal. It is a little bit steep. So obviously, Man United will have to do work in regards to that transfer fee, because that is a little bit steep for our standards. Of course, let's read through some of your comments, guys. I hope you're all doing well and blessed, of course, guys. Big up everyone, of course. Big up everyone. Jamie, I wish would sign someone else. The window has been the most boring ever for me as a fan. Yeah, it's very boring at the moment, Jamie. It's been very slow, very pedestrian. You would have thought that we won the league last season, wouldn't you? The way how slow we're going. I mean, the way Liverpool are going and absolutely gone Speedy Gonzalez to their transfers and stuff like that. It's been absolutely astronomical at the end of the day. By the way, Nketiah is a Man United fan. That's one thing. That's mad, isn't it? Bobby, how you doing, my friend? Are we doing well? Good to see you, of course. Natty, big up. What is the obsession with Rashford? Why the move, especially on TalkSport? Look, at the end of the day, this contradictions and this two-faced mentality from these media journalists is absolutely sickening, to be honest with you. When I look at the way, oh, poor Rashford. I've seen various videos of Rashford walking around the pitch, not making a challenge, not challenging for headers, blah, blah, blah. Do you know what I mean? It's just disgusting. This agenda is ridiculous at the end of the day. Rashford has not been good for Man United. That last season, he was not good for Man United. He's a toxic mess. He's run by people around him who blow smoke up his backside every single day, and he's arrogant. He's full of himself. He's arrogant and full of himself, guys. Absolutely full of himself at the end of the day. The club did not fail Marcus Rashford, by the way. There's lots of rumours going around that, we failed Marcus Rashford. We failed him. Poor Marcus Rashford. We failed him. What, giving him bloody 200 and 300,000 a week? You know what I mean? To jog around the pitch, half jog around the pitch, semi-press, give him his opportunity at a big club at Man United. Look, Man United not perfect, but hell, we did give Marcus Rashford a bloody good life, didn't we? At the end of the day, he's just an ungrateful little sport brat at the end of the day. That's what I would say about that. I don't want to say much about it, but that's what it is. And we have to face reality. The biggest concern for me over this last, what do we say? This generation is lack of accountability. We have a lack of accountability, and these players need to show accountability for their actions. They're never to blame, are they? Sancho's never to blame. Rashford's never to blame. It's someone else's fault. It's always someone else's fault. Bloody hell. How many managers has Rashford sacked? It's ridiculous at the end of the day. Big up, Natty. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. There was some guy called Unofficial Pundit on Twitter defending Rashford. Oh, that guy. He's. I think I remember who he is. He's some clown. I don't know who he is, Kenny. I think I remember vaguely who this guy is, but yeah, he is a bit of a clown. He's a bit funny. He challenged Rance to a boxing match once, Kenny, and he pulled out of the boxing match. He's a coward at the end of the day. There's a lot of clowns on there, mate. Player FC, rubbish. Same guy he attacks every manager and stuff probably, and going against Ruben Amorim. That's the sort of people who back him. But you know what? There's going to be a lot of toxicity, Kenny. Twitter and X are an absolute cesspit of clowns, if you know what I mean. They should open up a circus rather than supporting a football team, to be honest with you guys. Absolutely crazy. What do they want from Rashford? At the end of the day, what is the obsession with Marcus Rashford? What is this obsession with him? And I have, as I said earlier today, I have no affiliation with any of those players. If one player goes, it doesn't really bother me. I'm not going to lose sleep at night. 2 pillows, nice and comfy. That's what it's going to be for me at the end of the day. But when you look at these people, they're defending these mercenaries, these spoiled brats. And you know what, as the tweet I said earlier about, there was a player. Right, I'm going to read out this quote from this player, right? He's an ex-player, of course, guys. And he makes a very, very valid point, guys. So basically what this player said here, he basically said, let me read it. Philip Louise, ex-player, of course, he said, 80% of young players go around with a branded bag, $400 shoes, 8 tattoos, and they think they are stars. Now, they forget the real world. Guys, absolutely fabulous comment right there. 80% of young players go around with a branded bag, $400 shoes, 8 tattoos, and they think they are stars. They forgot the real world. That is aimed at Marcus Rashford. That is exactly what Marcus Rashford is. And not only him, because I'm talking about in context of Manchester United at the moment. There are other players out there as well who do the same thing, who think they made it, One good season doesn't make you an absolute superstar, guys, at the end of the day. One good album doesn't make you a legendary music artist, does it? At the end of the day, you have to keep pushing. You have to keep pushing, of course, guys. Absolutely. Big up, Pearl. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're good. Lanzo, hope you're doing well. Big up. Hello, sir. Hope you're well. Good to see you, mate. Very good. Mark, what's going on, mate? Big up yourself. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you again. Big up, Steve. What's going on? According to the journalist, if Vivant United has close connections to Antwerp and is trying to persuade Amram to sign Sesko, but Amram wants an established striker. It's a puzzle. Now, look, this is the biggest problem that you have, Steve, when you have too many cooks in the kitchen. Now, I haven't heard much about this story, to be honest with you, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's a little bit of conflicting disagreements with players that he wants to come into the football club. These guys were brought into the football club to sign players. And now we got a conveyor belt of people who are making decisions, not just one guy who's making the decisions. And in regards to Sesko, obviously there's close connections between Christopher Favel and Sesko. And there's also close connections between Senny Lemens and Christopher Favel as well, which is why we're so potently linked to these players, of course, guys. But what I would say is that Ruben Amram has a point. He does have a point because I have mentioned it before. Sesko has only scored 13 goals last season in 33 appearances. So that is a little bit of a worry that we can't look at Sesko and say that he's a prolific striker. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, because he isn't. And he's still young. He still can improve. But will do Manchester United take the risk on someone like Sesko, especially for the price? Now, Liverpool have just signed Ekitike for $95 million, which is a lot of money for an unproven player. So, look, will Man United take a risk on Sesko? Well, obviously, Arsenal really fancied Sesko, to be honest with you. They wanted Sesko at Arsenal because they were negotiating with him for a long time and they couldn't get over the line. The Christopher Favel thing is an interesting one because obviously Christopher Favel knows the players and we have to trust these guys. We have to trust them because they're the ones who've been paying the big money to find talent. Now, look, it's not hard to find Sesko. It's not hard to find Senny Lemens. We've been talking about him for months. We've been talking about Sesko for a couple of years now. But, you know, I want to see players from around the world in regards to South America and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? In regards to finding players and stuff, you know, I would like that to happen in regards to the unknown quantity and stuff. But you know what I would say is that there is going to be conflicting opinions in regards to players that he wants. Ruben Amram wants, Favel wants, Wilcox wants. There's going to be arguments, there's going to be disagreements, and that's fine as long as they get to the right conclusion and they make an agreement. I mean, at the end of the day, what do you want? Do you want Sesko or don't you want anyone? Who do you want, Ruben Amram? Who do you want? I can imagine that he wanted Gyökeres. I can imagine that. I think he's going to be pretty disappointed in regards to that because he's going to Arsenal. But I can imagine that he wants Gyökeres, and Gyökeres is not coming to the football club, so they're turning around to Sesko. But what they have to do is ask Ruben Amram what his opinion is. Who do you want? Who would you like at Manchester United? Who's the player that you're looking at and you think, yeah, that's the player I want apart from Gyökeres? Who do you want? And you should take that on with a pinch of salt as well and look at the players' options, of course. Mark, I'll take a deal and cheap, hardworking, injury-prone though, Mark. We have to be very careful about players like that, of course. But if it was between him and nobody, of course, I'll pick him. I think Ugarte is better though on his day. Good afternoon, Sal. I hope you're confident we will sign midfielders. Not confident, Matty. I'm not confident that Man United will sign midfielders. I think midfield is the position at Man United right now, which is going to be the last choice that we're going to do. We're going to sign a midfielder last, I think. I believe that. I think Man United are going to sign a striker. Man United will sign a goalkeeper. And then if we're lucky, we get a midfielder. I mean, we do need a midfielder. And we were speaking about this intensively this morning about Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes is guaranteed that spot in the number 8. He is guaranteed that spot in the number 8. He's not going to play the number 10 because Mbeumo and Cunha are going to be playing the number 10. So Bruno's going to move into the midfield. And however you think about that, I mean, I don't necessarily agree with it. I don't think that Bruno should be a given in the team. I don't think he should be guaranteed a spot. I think everyone should have to earn this spot. Every single player that played last season, you know what, let us down, embarrassed us, to be fair. Let's be real, right? And they shouldn't be guaranteed a spot in this football team. I know there's this culture at Man United. There's this mates rates culture, the mates rates thing. You know what? My countryman and stuff like that. And as I said this morning, you can't deny that. That is always going to be an issue at the end of the day. But what I would say is that Man United do need a midfielder, as we need a goalkeeper, as we need a striker. We need a number of positions in that football pitch. The midfield is very, very loose at the moment. And I feel like, you know what, Man United, over the years, Man United have always had a strong midfield, especially under Alex Ferguson, a consistent midfield and a midfield that's energetic. At the moment, if you have Bruno and you have Casemiro, you have Bruno, you have Ugarte, I don't think that midfield is very energetic. I don't think it's quick. And it can be bypassed pretty quickly, in my opinion. If we sign a Baleba, fantastic player, a Wharton, fantastic player, even a Human, fantastic player, that it would improve our midfield and it will improve the football team at the end of the day. As I've always been banging on, I've been banging the drum about the spine of the team, the striker, the attacker, the midfielder, the defender, and the goalkeeper. One straight spine all the way down the team. And I think that's what Man United have been lacking for many, many years. A consistency between the spine, you know what I mean, guys? And I think that's what we're missing, guys, absolutely. Mark, our only former player we should get is David De Gea. Big up, Mark. Big up, but David De Gea. David De Gea is really enjoying his time at in Florence, of course. He's going to sign a new contract, I'm hearing. Timo, what's going on, my friend? I'll be doing well. Good to see you. Was that Daily Blind on your cover? No, that's Human, Morton Human, my friend. Absolutely. Can you imagine Man United going after Daily Blind? Can you imagine that? I mean, re-signing Daily Blind, that's a blast from the past. My goodness me. There'll be uproar in the fan base if we did that. But no, that's Morton Human, Timo. I hope you're doing well, brother. Hope everything is fine with you. Yeah, look, Man United need that type of player. Man United need a defensive midfielder. He is about 26 years old. So, you know what, he does fit the bill just about in regards to the age. I wouldn't be upset about that. I would love a player like Wharton. I would love a player like, Baleba. I would love that type of player at Man United. Of course, we missed out on Richard Rios. Richard Rios has gone to Benfica, and we see you in a couple of years on the transfer rumours in a couple of years, Richard Rios, for about 70 million euros, because that's what it's going to be, isn't it, at the end of the day? It always happens with Benfica and teams of that ilk. You know, they'll sign these players, you know what I mean, for very cheap, and then a couple of years down the line, they're going to sell them for very expensive, isn't it, at the end of the day? Big up, Timo, my friend. Hope you're well. Sal, which is your best defensive midfield partnership? What the team right now is we ain't got many defensive midfielders, maybe Ugarte and Casemiro, wasn't it? Defensive midfielder. Look, I mean, if I had my dream, if it was my dream, Natty, you know what my favourite defensive midfield partnership would be in regards to players that we could sign? Baleba and Wharton, mate. If we got Baleba and Wharton, that'd be absolutely incredible. That would be the best midfield in the country, guys. I'm telling you right now. Added to the fact we got Mbeumo and Cunha ahead of them. Whew, what a partnership that would be, guys. But you know what? 120 million at least for Baleba and Wharton. I don't think that's going to happen somehow, but we can dream. A man can dream, can't he? Big up, Natty. Absolutely. Big up. It's always good to see everyone on, all you great people, of course. Really appreciate every single one of you. Has Sancho left yet? No. And if he's going on with Nottingham Forest is going in for him, unless they are going to offer pigs up here to get him off to Juve. CT, look, at the end of the day, there will be a chance that Sancho would want to stay in England. He would, because if he goes to Juventus, let me tell you right now, as a guy heavily connected to Italy, if he starts doing what he's done in England, they won't be so soft on him, because people have been very nice on him. There's still actually people who support Jadon Sancho. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it is the Jadon Rashford brigade, isn't it? So, what I would say is that I would love him to go to Juventus, get him out of our hair, wash him out of our hair, and let him play for bloody Juventus and see what he can do over there. Because at the end of the day, if he wants to go to a World Cup, he's going to have to start playing football, and he's not going to be playing football in Man United. That is pretty certain. In regards to Nottingham Forest, I haven't heard nothing about Nottingham Forest going in for him, but I wouldn't be surprised if Nottingham Forest make an offer. You know what? It isn't expensive to get Jadon Sancho, is it? He is generally on his day a quality player. Do you know what I mean? So Nottingham Forest will be looking in for that, and there will be vultures around Sancho at the moment. But I do believe that Nottingham Forest are smarter than that. I have to believe that they're smarter than that. They won't go in for this player because obviously Jadon Sancho is trouble. He's trouble. There may be trouble ahead. Absolutely. We're definitely with Sancho. Big up, Toxie. Big up, my friend. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Good to see you, bro. Hope you're blessed. Big up, Obo. What's going on? How you doing, mate? Sesko would actually be a good gamble for Man United to try it there because he's way too good as compared to Rasmus Højlund. Absolutely. Look, at the end of the day, Obo, I gave a big opportunity to Rasmus over this last year. I was really backing him to become good, because I don't like jumping on players, and especially young players. I don't like jumping on them and criticizing them that. But you know what? There comes a time, that we have to turn around and say, well, Rasmus, it hasn't worked out for you, mate. You're not working out. You're not really effective for Manchester United. You're not scoring goals. Man United need to score goals. Sesko would be an upgrade. Would it represent a risk? Absolutely would represent a risk. As I said earlier, and many, many times, I would prefer a player like Mateta Of course, I would prefer a player like that who's much more of an experienced Premier League striker, who's done it in big games as well, like the FA Cup final against Man City. For me, he was the man of the match. It was absolutely incredible. I would love a player like Mateta. But if we get Sesko into the football club, I'm sure that Ruben Amorim can work his magic with him, and he could turn out to be a good player for us, of course. And you know what? It just takes a goal. It takes a spark for him to start scoring goals for us, and you never know what can happen. The big up over. Fergus Top, what's going on, my friend? I'll be doing well. I can't believe some people call him Rashford a Manchester United legend. What the fuck are they on? He's an English version of David Bellion. Look, you know what? There's difference between greats and there's a difference between legends, right? This legend thing that gets thrown away and so willy-nilly is absolutely insulting. For me, a Manchester United legend, Wayne Rooney, Sir Bobby Charlton, George Best, Duncan Edwards, Eric Cantona, David Beckham, Paul Scholes, Brian Robson. These are Manchester United legends, right? You cannot put Marcus Rashford, even a minuscule, into that conversation. It's insulting. It's insulting. He's a former Manchester United player who played for Manchester United a lot of times. Maybe you could call him a great. A Man United great. Maybe in the future, in 20 years, we might call him Man United great. But that legend status is just so thrown around so cheaply. Legend is a legend. At the end, we know who our legends are. And it's certainly not Marcus Rashford. None of these players, let me tell you right now, who played when Sir Alex Ferguson left his football club, barring the players who played with Alex Ferguson, i.e. Robin Van Persie, Michael Carrick, and these players. But when they left, apart from those players, none of these players in this squad over the last, 12 years? Not 12 years. Isn't it 12 years now? Yeah, it's about 12 years. None of these players, right, were good enough to be claimed as legends of Manchester United. None of them. The only one I could turn around and say he might be a legend, maybe, in the future, probably David De Gea as a goalkeeper. And I'll tell you why, because he won 2 players of the season, won a Premier League title. But that was under Alex Ferguson. But in as a whole, none of these players deserve to be in that legendary conversation. Absolutely not. Anyone who thinks that Marcus Rashford is a legend has been watching football since 2016, for goodness sake. Because at the end of the day, as far as I'm concerned, you've got players like Ronnie Johnson, Henning Berg, David May, you know, these kind of players, right? These players right there who are not even classed as legends. Dennis Irwin, right? They're not, people don't even talk about them as legends, but we're happy to talk about Marcus Rashford as legend. And yes, Dennis Irwin is a flipping legend, one of the best left backs in the world of all time. You know, then you've got David May. Yes, he is a legend. And then you've got like players, you know, it just beggars belief, doesn't it, at the end of the day, that they will put Ronaldo and Marcus Rashford in the same conversation. Madness, isn't it, Fergus? Absolute pathetic. You know, this modern day thing is recency bias to the maximum. Pogba comment also a stinker about United and Rashford. Look, Pogba can go and jump, to be honest. I don't care about Pogba. Pogba, at the end of the day, failed twice at Man United. He fouled twice. At the end of the day, he fouled twice. That's what happened to Pogba. He's a legend for failing twice. He's the only player in Manchester United history to foul twice at Man United. And he's going to get my brother, Marcus Rashford, my brother, you've lost a great player. In what sense have we lost a great player? In what sense? Jogging around the pitch, refusing to challenge for headers, refusing to run into challenges, doing that half little jog, pretending you're about to... Come on, mate. Come on, be realistic, my friend. Be realistic. Stop talking trash, Pogba. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, he's a absolute... They're both tools, mate. Not quite right up in the head. Too much money too soon. And you know what? Believe their own hype. You know what I mean? Well done on winning a World Cup with a French team that would have won the World Cup without you, mate. And that's what I would say. Mark, signing Didi cheap, getting Mawani on loan and save money for next season. Hopefully we win the Euro competition and sign some players. Big up, Mark. Good point. My friend, hope you're doing well. Let the build first address the goalkeeper and the striker departments. Perhaps we will address the midfield later on. I think so, Abba. I think that's going to happen, mate. I think that will happen. I think Man United will address the midfield situation later. And I have to hope that they do. Even if we do bring in, like, as my friend Mark said, even if we bring in Ndidi and we bring in a player like that, it is covering that in midfield position. But although the striker and the goalkeeper is very important, as is the right wing back for me as well. I know not many people are mentioning the right wing back, but I just don't think Mazraoui, Dalot, and these kind of players are good at right wing back. I don't think Ahmad's a good right wing back. I think he's a good winger. I don't think he's a good right wing back. So I think Man United do need covering that position. But priorities. Man United should get a striker. Man United need a goalkeeper. Man United need a midfielder. If we can get that, added to the fact we got in Mbeumo and Cunha, it wouldn't be that bad, would it, at the end of the day? CT, Sesko, bring him in. He's a unit. We'll hold up the ball and keep the. He's a proper player, CT. Big up CT, by the way. Good to see you again. He's a proper player and he's a proper striker. You know what I mean? He will miss chances, but there you go. Andy Cole missed chances. He's still the greatest scorer in English football history, and people will laugh at me, but he is, because he didn't take penalties, and he's still up there. Absolutely. Big up Sal, 60 million. Who you choose, Sesko or Watkins? Sesko, mate, for me. I don't know, mate. Look, let me be honest with you. I don't want to pick. I don't. Look, I refrain that. I would say that I would be happy with either one of those players. I'll be happy with any one of those players, absolutely. Big up, Grayo. Grayo, good afternoon, brother. Hope you're well. Please, everyone, smash the like and subscribe button. Thank you so much, my friend. And Marky Mark, good afternoon, my friend. How you doing? Very well. Hope you're doing well, my guy. Hope you're good. How do you feel about Morten Huijman? I haven't watched him play. I feel that Maker and Dortmund will be good fit. He'd be a good fit as well. Look, at the end of the day, given the fact that we signed Mbeumo and Cunha, which are two very good players, by the way, I personally believe they're better signings than Florian Wirtz and Ekitike, by the way. What I would say is that, I wouldn't mind a Maker, however you pronounce it, and I wouldn't mind Huijman. It would be good for Man United. But obviously, Man United are concentrating on the striker position and the goalkeeper position at the moment. It does look like Man United are in for Sesko and Man United are in for Seny Lamens right now. This is what is going. You can kind of feel where Man United are going at the moment. And Seny Lamens was always my first choice goalkeeper, to be fair. He was, and I always was a big fan of his. So I'm glad that we're going after Seny Lamens. I'm glad we're going after Sesko. 2 years ago, I was a big fan of Sesko. I was talking about Sesko. I was ranting and raving about him. Hasn't quite gone on to major levels, but he's still a big upgrade to what we have, of course. Big up, Marky Mark, my friend. Hope you're well. Mark, and I think we'll get Seny Lamens to fight for number one. It will be good, Mark, to be honest, Mark, because it will be good because obviously it will keep Onana on his toes, you know, and we need a competition for a goalkeeper. It does look like Vitek might be going. There is obviously rumours about Vitek falling out with Ruben Amorim, which I don't know how true that is, but there is rumours about him falling out with Ruben Amorim, and we're also going to lose Bayern there, in my opinion, as well. I think we will lose Bayern there. So we would only have Heaton and Onana, to be honest. So obviously we've lost the goalkeeper, the young goalkeeper, of course, as well. Harrison, we've lost him as well. He's gone on loan. So don't be surprised if Man United bring in a goalkeeper of Seny Lamens quality. And that kind of goalkeeper will keep Onana on his toes. And you know what? Might even take that number one position. Who knows? That would be great, wouldn't it? Absolutely. Obo, I don't see Ruben Amorim eyeing Victor G, yet there are other people out there. I don't want to think he doesn't know how to improve other talents outside Victor G. Look, at the end of the day, I believe in Ruben Amorim, Obo. I believe in Ruben Amorim. I believe in his ability as a manager. I think he's a fantastic manager. He just needs the tools to do his job. Now, there are some people who you cannot train, unfortunately. There's some people just won't get it on board. You know what I mean? It's a bit like trying to teach someone to draw, isn't it? Who can't draw. You know, there's certain players like Rasmus who won't listen, who won't improve, unfortunately. And, not everything is going to be like Victor Gyökeres. You know what I mean? It's not going to be like that all the time. Let's not forget that Gyökeres flopped at, Brighton, at Coventry as well. There's a big expectation on Gyökeres. So maybe he's a one-off. Natty, Sal, do you think we need experienced goalkeeper or are happy with Lamens? I'm happy with Lamens, mate. I'm happy to bring in a young goalkeeper. You know what? Because I know a lot about this goalkeeper. He's way above his years in regards to the way he is. He's almost like a captain already at his age. He reminds me a lot of Courtois, and a cross between Courtois and Peter Cech. An absolute great goalkeeper. And I think, start young, get a new young goalkeeper in there, nurture him into the team. We're playing Onana, then we start slowly bringing Seny Lamens into the team. That's what I would do, to be honest with you. Absolutely. Toxie, midfield this week because Bruno and Casemiro are not energetic. If we get a good progressive midfielder rather than a striker. Toxie, I think we need a striker because we don't score goals. And a striker is a specialist position. We need a striker, mate. Xerxes don't score goals. Rasmus doesn't score goals. We need a striker. We need both, mate. In my opinion, Mainu's good enough to play in there. If he can play in there, of course, we've also got Ugarte and Casemiro, and that is one thing at the end of the day. I don't think we're going to risk sacrificing goals for the sake of a midfield. I don't think we're going to do that, although we should get both. Striker is the most. You win games from goals, and we haven't been scoring goals. The biggest problem with Man United over the last couple of years is goals. And we haven't had a proper striker to put the ball in there. So a striker is very, very important. I mean, I would question anyone's ball knowledge if they don't think a striker is important, Toxie. Honestly, it's very important. Can name a player in the whole world of football, player like Keane? Because if we can't find, there's no one like that, Mark. There's no one like that anymore. There's no one. We live in a world with snowflakes, mate. We live in a world with snowflakes. There's no one in the world like Roy Keane anymore. You know what I mean? Absolutely not. Mark, there's no Kings, Davids, Gattusos anymore. No, there's not, because players are too soft these days. I said it a few months ago. I've been saying it a very long time anyway. The street footballer no longer exists. You know, the guys who go on the street, play football against the wall and stuff like that and get spotted? Those sort of players don't no longer exist. The Steven Gerrard sort of players, that sort of player as well. You know, they no longer exist in my humblest of opinion, because these players, as soon as they get to an age where they can go into the academies, they're already getting a lot of money. They're already heavily pampered. They don't have to really earn their way like the old players used to do back in the old days, isn't it? And I hate banging on about the old days, but it's very true. Social media has a big part to play in that. Games and consoles have a big part to play in that, of course. So we're never going to get a Roy Keane, Gattuso, as you said, David Batty, as you said. Players of that ilk won't exist anymore, unfortunately, guys. I hope I'm proven wrong. Sal, it's amazing how Juventus declined this much. Lots of fraud, lots of corruption, and Natty, that would do that to a football club, unfortunately. Mark, a lot of the so-called big teams have gone downhill and fast. They have. AC Milan, Juventus, Manchester United. You could argue that Barcelona, to an extent, have declined a little bit. You know, but at the end of the day, as I've always believed, the cream always rises to the top. And I think Man United will be back. And Man United will start, you know what I mean, being successful again. I've got this feeling, I don't know, I've got this feeling that Man United will start being successful again. We will be back. I hope so, guys. So, which is your favorite favorite Italian team? Napoli, mate. Napoli. My wife's Napolitan. I'm in Napoli now. I've got a lot of connects over here. Love it over here. And look, Napoli is my favorite Italian team. Yeah. Champions. Timo, we are the true legends for supporting this club for so long, thick and thin. Timo, spot on, my guy. Absolutely. Given everything that's happened, the people who have stayed unwavered in their support for Manchester United are the ones who deserve the flowers. They're the ones who deserve the trophies, not these guys, these player FCs, Rashford FCs, Martial's FCs, Pogba FCs, the people that actually support the football club. Those fans that go home and away every single game. Those fans who wake up at 3 a.m. every single day to see Manchester United play. And I got a little bit of an experience in regards to this living in the UAE, right? The UAE is 3 to 4 hours ahead of England. In the winter, it's 4 hours. When the game kicks off at 8 a.m., 9, 10, 11, 12 a.m., the game kicks off. And that is just a small sample of what, you know, fans do, what we have to endure around the world. I'm from England, but I never appreciated it as much as I should have done when I hear about fans around the world, what times they wake up. It's not just about traveling to see the game, seeing a game. It's about understanding the commitment to support this football team, waking up, sacrificing sleep. Like, I would wake up at 12 a.m., 1 a.m., right, and watch the football match, wake up at 5 a.m., you know what I mean? And that is how, you know what, proper fans do it. And people like you, Timo, people like us who support it through thick and thin, is proven now. One thing they can't call us anymore. One thing these fans, because I had my whole life with this, right? I started supporting Man United in the late 80s, but I've had my whole life with this. People calling you a glory hunter. That doesn't exist anymore in Man United, isn't it? And I applaud all those people who actually support the football team, who actually want us to win, rather than wanting their opinions to be right. Do you know what I mean? Because there are people out there who don't support this football team. They support their opinions. And that is where we go wrong, of course. Big up, Timo. Lovely comment, my friend. Mark, if Rashford is a legend, I'm king of England. Big up, Mark. Exactly, bruv. Exactly. Legend. That demotes the word legend to an absolute all-time low. To be honest with you, calling Marcus Rashford a legend, he probably believes he's a legend. In his head, he's probably got his brothers who is his agents and stuff like that, continuously calling him, oh, Rashford, you're a legend. You scored this many goals. You're a legend. You're Mank born and bred. You were academy. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. I mean, no. Not on my watch. Not on my watch. Natty, the bar is so low to make Rashford a legend these days, for goodness sake. You know what's going to happen, though, Natty? Guys, you know what's going to happen? And I want people to brace themselves for this, right? Rashford will go to Barcelona, get a tap-in against Deportivo La Coruña or someone like that, right? And then you're going to get those Rashford FC people coming back. Guys, Rashford FC, let me tell you something, Rashford FC. Please listen to me, Rashford FC. Rashford is now at Barcelona. Please get your EasyJet or your Ryanair, you know what I mean, with the pennies that you got in your bank account, and go to Barcelona with Rashford, please. Could you do that for me? Could you go over there and go to Barcelona with me? You play at FC Fools. You play at FC Fools. You're nothing to do with Manchester United. You have nothing. You have no knowledge about what Manchester United really, truly is, do you? So at the end of the day, if you really love Rashford that much, please play at FC. Ignore Manchester United this season. Leave us alone and go and support bloody Barcelona. That's what you should do. Because you don't really support Man United, really, do you? At the end of the day, you support Barcelona. You support Marcus Rashford. Sorry, guys, but they need to be told. Absolutely. Mark, Rashford, a decent player at best. At his best, Mark, he was a decent player. At his best. But at the end of the day, he needs to look at himself in the mirror and take accountability for what he did to himself at the end of the day. He did this to himself. We didn't do it to him. He's flipping the bird up at fans and stuff like that. We didn't do it to him. It's his own self that does it to himself. I broke up with my girlfriend and I can't play football because I broke up with my girlfriend. Bloody hell, mate. No, unbelievable. Where we come from. Roy Keane. We've just been talking about Roy Keane, you know what I mean? And this comes out. Absolutely. Big up, Rasta Sots. I'm concerned about a midfield. Me too, brother. Me too. Absolutely. Big up to Rasta. Hope you're doing well. Remember to hit the like. Thank you so much, Timo. You're absolute legend. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. As usual. Special and subscribe. Big up, Natty. Big up yourself. Would you take Watkins and Didi Pickford? No, not Pickford. I wouldn't take Pickford, no. His arms are so small, you know what I mean? I'd rather get a Tyrannosaurus Rex in goal than Pickford. Watkins and Ndidi injury prone. We have to remember that, guys. Injury prone. Now, let me look at Ndidi, right? I'm going to give you an example, right? Let me just look through this. I want to give you an example. So let's look at Ndidi. Wilfred Ndidi. Okay. So I'm going to go through Ndidi's injury record. And this is very important because we signed players, right, like Mason Mount, and we got players like Luke Shaw already, right? So we don't need any more cripples, guys. That's one thing we don't need, okay? So let me have a look. It's all in Italian, unfortunately. Okay, so Ndidi missed 61 days in last season, right? 2024-25, he missed 61 days. 2023-24, he missed 66 days. 2021-22, he missed 75 days. 2020-21, he missed 86 days. 19 and 20, he missed 45 days. 17 and 18, he missed 32 days. All in all, he has missed a lot of bloody football, guys. A lot of football. So, look, we don't need any more injury-prone players. Like, he has physical problem. He has a thigh problem. Most of his career, he's got a thigh problem. So this is something that we have to really take seriously and analyze before we go after any more other players. I would rather play Kone, mate. I'll be honest with you. I would rather play Kone. I would rather play a player like that than bring in someone who's going to be injured 25%, 35%, 45% of the season. Guys, in my opinion. Midfield was 2 weak. We struggled to finish 15 days with midfield. Absolutely, mate. Just got Sir Lucas. Got off Sir Lucas. Midfield this week, Johnny. I really hope we do work on it. Absolutely. Age-wise, our pick. So that's the only reason, Toxie. That is the only reason I would pick Sesko, because of his age and he's got a higher ceiling. No disrespect to Ollie Watkins, because Ollie Watkins could probably walk into Manchester United and score goals. Miles, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. God bless you always, Sal. Best channel, just like Manchester United. Thank you so much. You lovely comments, and you're a very good person. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your generosity and your kindness. Thank you. Big up Sal. Big up LT. I'm with you because we need a striker, centre midfielder, and a goalkeeper, a proven goal scorer, and Lamens is a good choice to slowly remove Onana as we will lose by in there. I know the roster is full, but no working CM combo. Absolutely, bruv. Absolutely. You know what you have to do, LT? You have to form relationships all around the pitch. And Beckham would tell you that he had a great relationship with Gary Neville when he was playing. Ryan Giggs had a great relationship with Dennis Irwin. And there's two centre-backs had a great relationship between each other, whether that was Gary Pallister and Steve Bruce, or Ronnie Hodgson and Jaap Stam, or Gary Pallister, or Rio Ferdinand and Nemanja Vidic. They always had a good partnership. In midfield, there was obviously Brian Robson in that midfield, of course, along with Paul Ince. And then there was obviously Paul Scholes and Roy Keane. You always have Dwight York and Andy Cole up front. You know what I mean? You always have to form partnerships within a team. Now, once we're continually chopping and changing, there's no wonder there's no chemistry in our team. There's no, cohesion in our team because we're always chopping and changing things. We need to build relationships in the team, within the team, little relationships between each other, on the right, on the left, in defense, in the midfield, up front. Hopefully, we got Cunha and Mbeumo, and that represents this. This will represent a change in this. And hopefully, these two players form relationships, and hopefully, we get a relationship with the striker as well. Big up, LT. Good to see you as always, my friend. Fergus, do you think Kone? Do you think we see Kone? I hope so, Fergatov. I only hope so. I can hope that we see him in the League Cup or the FA Cup, but don't be surprised if it gets to August and Man United loan him out. I just got this feeling Man United are going to loan him out. I don't know why I got this feeling. I don't think it should be happening, but I got this feeling that Man United will loan him out, unfortunately. And you know what? I would like to see him give an opportunity. It is a big opportunity, of course. We've got obviously Man United flying out to America this week, so you know what? We're going to see a lot of games, friendlies, and these players have a chance to shine. Unlike against Leeds United, where they actually harm their reputation even more, if that is even possible, than actually improving their reputation. Big up, Kurgatov. I remember the old days as well, so like you, been watching football 30, 40 years. I miss the good old days, mate. Mark, I do miss the good old days. I miss proper football, mate. I mean, I feel sorry for people who have not witnessed it, who didn't witness Man United during the 90s, who didn't get the chance to see proper football, who didn't get a chance to see Man United becoming the greatest team in the world, winning the treble and proper football, not this Man City treble, proper treble, guys. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I do miss those days. Look, at the end of the day, I'm a bit nostalgic anyway at the best of times. But, you know, what I would say is that, football will never be the same as that. It will never be the same because of the money involved. And the love for football is slowly fading away. I can see in the future, football being run by robots. I can see that because, you know what, there's too much of on the mind of young people these days. Young people are not inclined to go out and play football anymore like we used to be. I used to go home, put my bag on the floor, and I'm out going to play football. I don't think that happens anymore. It's sad. I know it's sad. But unfortunately, it's just the case, the world that we live in at the moment, unfortunately. Big up, Mark. Natty, Sal, we will be there when Sesko scores a bang. Come on, Natty. Imagine it. Imagine Sesko brace, Cunha and Mbeumo. 4-0, bang. Goodness me. Wouldn't that shut them up? That would be fantastic. Samuel, good to see you, mate. Hope you're doing well. Duran would be a good midfield signing for... Duran's a great player, mate. Kamada is a great player, mate, as well. There's many players out there, Samuel. Big up Samuel, by the way, out there that Man United could possibly get. My biggest concern, Samuel, is we're very tunnel visioned in regards to where we're looking in regards to the transfer market. We're not really looking, everywhere. We're looking just a couple of players, and those are the players we want, no one else. And we can come on this stream and we can tell them, we can give 10 players off the cuff, just shout out 10 players and say, you should sign these players. Unfortunately, as much as we're paying these new people in the club, they're not doing good enough, in my opinion, in regards to scouting. Big up, Samuel. And watching United, of course, Old Trafford gone downhill as well. I mean, at the end of the day, Mark, and I would say this, I'm a very passionate advocate for Old Trafford because I don't believe that a team like Man United should be moving away from Old Trafford. I know it is a derelict mess at the moment, and I know it needs regeneration, but I do believe that Old Trafford should be a listed building. That government money that potentially will be going towards the new Old Trafford, or the tent, I call it, should be going to Old Trafford currently, because Old Trafford is a cultural institution, a place of history. You know, if you know your history about Old Trafford, if you know about how Old Trafford was bombed during the war, we had to go and play at Main Road, which was Man City's old ground. The history behind, we had our greatest times at Old Trafford. And I think moving away from Old Trafford, I know it's going to be a shiny new stadium. I know it's going to excite some people. They're going to have comfortable, soft chairs and all that. I think we shouldn't be doing that. I think we should go along the lines of Real Madrid, of course, guys, teams of that ilk, Liverpool, and stay at the current ground, because they wouldn't move from the ground. They wouldn't move from their home at the end of the day. Let me give you an example. Look at Arsenal since they moved away from Highbury. Look at Arsenal. Arsenal moved away from Highbury, which was a small ground, and basically haven't been the same since. Yeah, they had the FA Cup here and there. Haven't won the league, haven't done anything. And they haven't been good at it. I bet, you know what, a lot of fans at Arsenal would swap Highbury for anything. You know what I mean? Highbury was a different situation, of course, because Highbury was in the middle of a housing estate, basically. So, look, it was difficult for Arsenal to expand Highbury, you know, and expensive. But Old Trafford, there is an opportunity to expand Old Trafford. This is why I'm very, very skeptical about moving away from Old Trafford. And then it makes me think about why they are moving from Old Trafford. And the guys, you can talk about derelict, leaking roofs, all you want, right? Those things can be fixed and Old Trafford can be rebuilt. The train tracks can be sorted out. Don't worry about that. The reason why they want to move away from Old Trafford, because they want their foot stamp on the stadium. They want their name all over the stadium. They want the Sir Jim Ratcliffe Stadium, or the Sir Jim Ratcliffe Stand, or they want the Ineos stadium, something like that, of that ilk. They want the Sir Jim Ratcliffe Way. They want the Ineos stadium. They want the Ineos Hotel, the Glazer Hotel, and stuff like that. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sam Houston, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Really good to see you, mate. Thank you so much, brother. Sal, to get competitive, do you think we have to change many players? Yes, mate. Not many, not as many as people think. I think 5 or 6 need to change, definitely. I think Man United definitely need a competent goalkeeper. Man United need a midfield partnership in there. That's a partnership, not just one player. I think we need a partnership in there that is going to bring Man United forward. I think Man United have got the number 10 sorted out. I think Man United need a striker, a competent striker. If Man United get that, right, the right wing back won't matter as much. Maybe the defense won't matter as much. But given the fact that you will sort out the midfield positions in regards to having a partnership in there, you know what, it will make Man United competitive again, I think. Awudi, good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Thank you so much for joining. Of course. Amadou Onana would be a good midfield side for Manchester United. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Very highly underrated. Not many people mention his name a lot. You know what I mean? But he's been absolutely fantastic over the last years, isn't it? Played for Everton and Aston Villa, isn't it? We're talking about, isn't it? So we'll be brilliant in the midfield. Absolutely. I'm surprised that we don't really talk about this player much. You know what I mean? I mean, someone famously called him Andre Onana, didn't they? They called him Andre back in the European Championship, and he told them off. Big up, Samuel. I think Marcus Rashford will thrive being in a new country like Spain. He's fine. Spain, look, at the end of the day, Samuel, just look at Anthony. Sometimes you have to move away from your environment to regain yourself, to find yourself, so to speak. I think Spain will be good for him. I think it will. I think a new league will be good for him. There is such a thing, right? It's not always a bad thing, but there is such a thing of becoming stale and staying somewhere too long, in my opinion. I do believe that. I think that Marcus Rashford stayed at Man United too long, and he's stagnated somewhat. Natty, we are the most supported club in team in England, in the world. One of the most supported in the world, top 3, mate. Absolutely. Ruben Amorim should have sold Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro. Yeah, I mean, he should have done, Samuel. You know, it's all shoulda, woulda, coulda right now, isn't it? At the end of the day, I wish we did, but now we have to support the players. I would have cashed in on Bruno myself. That's my personal opinion. I would have cashed in on him. You know what I mean? He doesn't even fit the system, to be honest with you. So I would have cashed in on him and got another midfielder in there. Could have bought Walton. You know what I mean? Probably could have, with 100 million, 120 they were offering at one point. Could have got Walton and Baleba in there. You know what I mean? And people say, no, we can't sell him. T-Rex, big up, my friend. Absolutely good to see you. Of course, I take it back. Indeed, it is injury powered, so I should be due. Yeah, no problem, Mark. I get you, mate. Look, back in 2017, Man United were after Ndidi, right? And I was a big fan of Ndidi. Indeed, I was a big fan of Ndidi. I really did like Ndidi, but he has stagnated as well. He stayed at Leicester too long, in my opinion. And he hasn't been quite the same player. If Man United got to the end of the transfer window and we haven't got any midfield reinforcements, I would say, yeah, bring in Ndidi. You know what I mean? Because it's better than nothing, isn't it, at the end of the day? Big up, Mark, my friend. Sal, you can slap Player FC. Absolutely. All right, I'm going to slap Player FC now. This is dedicated to Player FC, guys. It's time to slap the hell out of Player FC. Let's do this.
Come closer. What is the sound of one hand clapping?
I don't know. What is the sound of what?
What else Player FC can do? You know what they can do?
Fuck off.
Exactly. Go along with Marcus Rashford and
fuck off.
That is what it's all about. Get out of here, you Player FC fools. Get the hell out of here, guys. Absolutely. That's what it's about. Get out of our football club.
Fuck off.
Yeah, absolutely. All day long. You know what I mean? But yeah, look, at the end of the day, one thing I would say, in all seriousness, I hope Marcus Rashford succeeds because I want Barcelona to buy Marcus Rashford. I want, at the end of next season, I want him to score, do well for Barcelona, and we get that 30 million. Because this is not an obligation to buy it. This is an option to buy it, which is a little bit different. So basically, Barcelona will have first choice to buy Marcus Rashford for 30 million. So they're paying his wage 15% low, which is saving Man United a lot of money. I think 17 to 19 million, which is great. And hopefully he shines over there and he starts regaining himself. And then hopefully Barcelona say, yeah, we want Rashford, we need him, and we're going to buy them. Hopefully he doesn't get sent back. But if he does get sent back and he does well, it does bring in other potential suitors to him as well, doesn't it, at the end of the day? So we have to wait and see, of course, guys. Samuel, that's the Villa are in trouble. Ray, that's the Villa for Amadou Banana, Bakary Kamara. I agree with that, Samuel. Very smart, Samuel. Very smart. I would do that as well. Can we get a Dumfries, a right wing back? Apparently, he's 25 million. I don't think Man United are going for him. I think he's going to be going to Spain, if I'm not wrong. Excuse me if I'm wrong. LT, our current squad is injury prone, not good enough. Ball carriers, absolutely, and players who play line breaking, passing, CM and centre back. Most of them have weak mentality, making it impossible to change this. It's true, LT. And people brush under the carpet how important mentality is. It's very important that you get mentality wrong. And these players have, the only mentality they have is failure. Because over the last 10, 15 years, they've been failing. And that's all they remember, you know? So you're going to have to get rid of that mentality and that culture, of course. Samuel, Manchester United should look at Roger Fernandes, Santiago Gimenez. I agree with that. Roger Fernandes, we've spoken about many times, Samuel, on this channel in regards to the right wing back who plays for Braga. Great player. Spoke to a Portuguese journalist on there about him as well. Very, very good player. Very good point. A good player, mate. Absolutely. And Santiago Gimenez as well. Yeah, but we're just not scouting that deep, are we, Samuel? We're not doing that scouting that deep. Do you know what I mean? Justica, big up, please. Which players are coming to United now? Look, nothing is happening at the moment concrete, all right? We just got Mbeumo through the door. Mbeumo will be announced as a Man United player officially. But what is going around and what has legs at the moment is basically Benjamin Sesko and Seny Laments. Those two players, the goalkeeper and the striker, what Man United are looking for at the moment. So don't be surprised if you hear a lot more news about that. But with football and with everything, until it's really close, until it's signed on a dotted line, anything can happen on a week-to-week basis at the end of the day. But what Man United do have to do, Justice, big up yourself, by the way. What Man United do have to do, they have to keep this momentum. They have to keep going. And that I hope that they're doing. They got the Mbeumo deal through the door. Fantastic. Now we need to get the striker. Then we need to get the goalkeeper. Then we need to get the midfield in whatever order you want. Whether you want the midfield first, the goalkeeper first, the striker first, whatever order you want, Man United need to get these deals done. That is all we need to do, of course. Still no, taking long. Yeah, they do take long, but it's done. Anyway, sign the contract, it's done anyway. But yeah, there is pictures being taken, Mark. The pictures have been taken. So that is just going to come out. I mean, they're editing. If they want me to edit it for them, I would do it for them a lot better than what they do anyway. But they won't. They're very slow. Ineos have loads of money. They can afford to get rid of January. Old Trafford, greedy rats. Absolutely, Samuel. Thank you, Samuel. Samuel, I enjoy your company, mate, because you said it there. You said it there. They have the money. They do have the money. You remember before they were gonna sack Eric Ten Hag and how everyone said they have no money. And then they miraculously found the money for Eric Ten Hag. Imagine this. They're sacking people on 30 grand a year, but they can afford him Bumo for 65 to 70 million. It's lies. It's lies. And to be honest with you, as she said, Samuel, the regeneration project, they want the regeneration project because they want their name all over they want their name over the stadium. They know they cannot rename Old Trafford. They cannot put their name on Old Trafford because Old Trafford is Old Trafford. They got the Sir Bobby Charlton stand. You got the Sir Alex Ferguson stand. Do you know what I mean? They cannot rename it. So they want a fresh start with their name scattered all over it, blueprint in there, and that's what they want. They're reading them like a book. Big up, Samuel. Mark, I broke in Highbury as a kid with a friend and set fire to the net. Big up, Mark. You're snitching yourself now, Mark. I remember going to the old Highbury and I used to walk down the road. Basically, Highbury's the old Arsenal stadium, guys, in case you don't know. So, but basically, whenever I see Man United against Arsenal, we'll be going down towards Arsenal, Highbury, right? And we'll be walking down the road. It's like basically a normal road with houses on either side. And then you turn right, and then there's the stadium there. And you're like, that's the stadium. Yeah, it's like in the middle, like you think, wow, in the middle of a house in the state and stuff like that. Yeah. But they still haven't been good, of course. Big up, Bernard. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good summer, mate. Duncan Castle reported that the Freedom Fighter is joining Juventus 20 minutes, including easy add-ons. Big up, Bernard. I would trust it when I see Fabrizio Romano Ornstein. Duncan Castles is a Newcastle guy. I don't really trust him. Sorry, Bernard, I don't really trust him. Has never broke anything, but yeah. Played at Upton Park, Samuel. I played at Upton Park. Very good atmosphere, proper football stadiums, mate. I guarantee you, if you're going to ask West Ham fans right now if they want to move back to Upton Park, I'm pretty sure they would. You know what I mean? Green Street, all damn business, yeah, mate. Absolutely. I mean, proper atmosphere on match day. That was different levels. Mark Mudd, most probably they will announce it tomorrow on the tour. Absolutely, probably. Natty, Old Trafford did not have to be knocked down. It's amazing some people relax. I mean, these people who relax, they're just new school fans who don't really understand the heritage of Man United. That's what I would say, Natty. Would Real Madrid move away? Would Liverpool move away? Hell to the no. And now, if Man United move away from Old Trafford, they're going to have an even more greater advantage than us. You have to build a legacy at new stadiums, of course. Thank you so much, Noah. You absolute legend. Thank you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for that kind message, of course. Guys, absolutely. Now, guys, I want to thank everyone for joining me. Big up Stephanie, the legend, of course, all day long. Big up, my friend. Guys, I want to thank everyone for joining me today. Big up Ahmed Hossain as well, new to the channel. We definitely need CMs. We can't build up and we get played through Teresa. I agree with that, my friend. 43 likes, guys. Guys, today, let's try and get up to 50 likes. Let's try and push it up, guys. That's what we need to do. Yeah, I've got to go get changed. I've got to get ready. And guys, have a great day, great night, great evening. Don't forget to put your notifications on as well when I go live in case something breaks, guys. I might be in the middle of my chicken and something goes live and I'm going to be live with you in all my glory, of course, guys. You don't want to see that. But guys, have a great day, great night, great evening. If I don't see you during this next few hours, please join me for Breaking Dawn tomorrow. It's going to be a big show. Have a great day, great night, great evening. I'm Sal Warner. This is Breaking Dawn. This is not Breaking Dawn. I caught you out there. This is Chatterbox. Take it easy, guys. Have a good day. Peace.